This episode of the Moon Tower Podcast is brought to you by Flash Designs. Flash Designs is a local shop in town, homemade t-shirts and screen prints from our good friend Mark Killer Kowalski. None of the proceeds go to us, it all goes to him and his shop, so shop local and buy from Flash Designs. You can even buy some of the merchandise from the Moon Tower Podcast, t-shirts and koozies especially. He takes all comers and all requests. Flash Designs is your place to go for local screen prints and well-made t-shirts. And with that, my friend, we start a new episode. We are back from a week off. Woo! I had to take a week off because I felt another tirade coming on, and I didn't want to do another one because after we got done with the whole Iran thing, I was like a little spent. So I kept telling you, I was like, I feel better.
That was a heavy episode, you know.
I was like, I feel a lot better. I kept saying that. I'm like, because I did, because it wasn't even the whole situation. Well, yeah, obviously, the situation was a little tense for a hot minute. But it was mainly going out to all the people online and in general who are bomb the shit out of them. Yeah, send their boys over. Like I kept saying, I'm like, you ain't gonna go, motherfucker. You ain't gonna go. Like,
and as far as like tensions from it, I feel like it kind of fizzled out a little bit.
Oh yeah, especially after Iran admitted to shooting down the Ukrainian plane. I think it was Ukrainian. Like, oops, sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, we don't. We're gonna figure out a new way to carry out a response to what you did, you assholes. But no, I felt my blood pressure getting going again because I had another tirade going in my head, and I was just like, it's not gonna work. I can't do this. I can't do this again. And then I just figured, I'm
gotta bring balance.
Well, yeah, you gotta. Yeah, exactly. Got to. Because I just had that feeling of if I keep doing this, I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Yeah, you know, my heart is heavy with these topics as well, so I feel it.
But I had to get it out, and it's funny too because I had there was a couple comments on when we posted the video, and it wasn't about what we talked about. It was about. I kept saying fuck, and I think I used the word faggot once. I think, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
No, I did, and someone complained about it. I'm like, you understand what I was talking about, right? Can you at least, like, dig that? Like, basically trying to call anyone out who's like, yeah, let's fucking bomb the shit out of them. Yeah, let's go. They can't fuck with us, and like, but no, it was, and yes, I even admitted when we recorded, I was like, no offense, but like, that's what they are, fucking faggots, like, douchebags, you're assholes, because you're not gonna go. And I saw plenty of that because I ended up staying at my place for the rally, because remember I said the Trump rally was gonna happen. I think it was like a night or two after.
Yeah.
That was basically what I expected. It was vendors, they had the vendor set up way before anyone got there, obviously, and just people up and down Monroe Street and Superior and St. Clair and Jefferson and whatnot, just selling T-shirts and hats and whatnot. There was one guy he was selling impeachment T-shirts, which I thought was kind of funny. He was in the midst of the melee of vendors.
You see the guy driving around playing "Fuck Donald Trump"?
I did. No, I didn't.
I saw some pictures. Like, that's fun. I would have liked to see that.
I saw a couple vehicles go by that, you know, supporting impeachment, and which I watched part of the recorded trial, the opening statements last night.
The little that you could see.
But no, it was mainly like they had, I guess somebody bought a fire truck or rented a fire truck and had Trump flags like draped
Oh Jesus.
all over it, and people selling stupid T-shirts and whatnot. But the crowd, obviously there were some protesters, but it was pretty mild.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of hoping for like a barricade breakdown and a little Red Rover kind of fight, but it never happened. It's because everyone was loyal. Because I guess tickets sold out by like middle of the day, so anyone who was down there after like 3-4 o'clock was just down there to fucking. I'm gonna be part of the get together.
Yeah, the movement.
I'm gonna see my friends and family down here. People I don't know, but
I don't know. I wouldn't want to be part of a Trump movement in any sense of the case, whether it be Bowel or otherwise.
But no, it was a pretty mild thing, and I guess like I said, I'm glad that I didn't get too enamored with it. But just I had to go off. I had to go off the last episode. I had to because I just felt it brewing. And there's a couple cats that came up to my room because the Huntington Center is right across from my building.
Yep. It's like right smack dab there.
And I had a couple work friends come up, and they're both Trumpers. And I was just like the one guy, he was my dude KC. He was real pumped about it. Like he's real pumped, like streaming the speech from the building across the street, like in my room. We're like trying to hang out, and he's fucking streaming a speech as it's happening, and he's like over in the corner, like like reacting to it. He's like, oh shit, blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, we're right here. Like, can you just like enjoy this part? You can watch this shit on YouTube later, because what you're doing is stupid. Plus, we were watching RoboCop 2.
Oh, you can't interrupt.
TOO, not the sequel. I'm like, why the fuck are you interrupting this? Because this is way sweeter.
Yeah.
And even
you don't interrupt RoboCop for any reason.
Yeah, and even my dude Brad was like, yeah, dude, RoboCop's way sweeter. You can just watch that later. But no, it was pretty mild. Opal Kobe was down there.
Oh,
old Opal Kobe. If any of you not from the area don't know who Opal Kobe is, she is the long-running mayoral candidate who thinks God's on her side.
Oh, yeah.
And she, every other election year when the mayor seats up, she's running. She runs every year, every election. Try to get a mayoral candidacy, or I think a few years it was like city council.
Mm-hmm.
But she's this batshit crazy lady. She's like Pentecostal religious kind of thing.
Oh, dude, yeah, she's a trip.
I guess she's a crazy cat hoarder, and her house is like of local lore in the area, because she's got all sorts of like old crazy not merchandise, but like posters or
paraphernalia.
Yes, thank you. And she just looks batshit crazy, like.
Yeah,
80,
I'll throw up a picture here later. But yeah.
Throw up a picture so people can see, and see if she'll come up on Wikipedia too. That'd be funny.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody's come up with a crazy Opal Kobe Wikipedia page, but she was down there and hanging out, and we ended up getting a picture with her. It was pretty funny because me and the neighbor went out and just kind of surveyed the crowd and just, okay, so this is happening. This is, front and center, America right here. And it was funny because they had the barricade set up in the dumbest way, because they had the protesters basically on Erie Street.
Okay.
And we're coming down Monroe, and you could just walk around.
Yeah.
Like they weren't even trying to separate. Like they weren't even trying to separate.
It's more of a
everyone.
suggestion than anything.
And like I said, I was just waiting for someone to climb the fence and start some shit. But like protesters were like, beach his ass and fuck him and blah blah blah. They weren't saying that. They were actually being very cordial. And the Trumpers were like, build a wall 4 more years, lock her up. And I'm like, what about Hillary? Because it was I guess the news came out.
People are still fired up about it. They're still fired up about Benghazi. So.
Well, the news had come out earlier that day that she had been exonerated from the investigation into whatever shady dealings she was into.
Okay.
believe it, but
her emails, man. I keyed.
yeah. Anyway, but no, it was, I don't know, it was pretty mild. It wasn't as hectic. The security was pretty lax because I thought everything was gonna be shut down. You know, because it was right after they killed the Iranian general, and the whole impeachment thing was ramping up again, and re-election year and all that shit. I thought fucking security was gonna be on a clapdown, and it wasn't. I was able to. They had dump trucks filled with what looked like just like dirt and rock.
Huh.
Like heavy loaded dump trucks blocking off the streets. They didn't even have like military. I expected like to see like military personnel, and there wasn't any. It was just like local cops and shit. They had, which is funny, unmanned, unlicensed, undercover cop cars just sitting at certain posts. I'm like,
okay,
why are they even here? Why are they even here? And I didn't see any like heavy duty, not special ops, fucking guys who guard the president.
SWATs or whatever.
Secret Service.
Secret Service, yeah.
Or like SWAT, or not even SWAT, but like fucking no military vehicles. If I remember correctly, there weren't even. I didn't even hear any helicopters. Because I remember when the last time the neo-Nazis came to town, like 2014.
Yeah.
We went to that. We went down to see that, and yeah, somebody's rolling their eyes out there, thinking, I went down to the picnic. Oh yeah, I went to the neo-Nazi rally. Like what? Like, oh, calm down. I went to go fucking see what was up. But we went to that, and we just rolled down there, and it was because of the riots that happened in 2006 or 7 when that shit went down. 2008. No, it was like 2005 or 6, whatever. Because the last time they were here, the people in the North End started fucking rioting, and which is always kind of funny to me. It's like, yeah, we'll protest by blowing our own shit up.
Questionable.
Why? But last time the neo-Nazis were down here, I saw they had military personnel, like vehicles. They had all the cops basically in the city, like because it was right downtown near the Jackson. It was near the government building.
Okay.
In that little center down there, the way they have it, they have like one government center, and which is like the big office building for city council and the mayor and shit. And they have like the the newspaper buildings a block down, and they had it situated in that open area.
Oh yeah.
And they had like I took a picture of all the cops. They had at least 150, 200 cops just standing there lined up, like on the perimeters of where it was going down. And they had, people were going up to the gate, fuck you, motherfucker, and talking, shit talking to the fucking neo-Nazis. Neo-Nazis are all standing there with their fucking Boy Scout badges and their fucking leather vests and their whatever. And, there's a couple guys that are fucking, fuck you, fucking. But I remember seeing that they had fucking black helicopters flying overhead. I counted at least like 3 or 4. And I remember looking up to the government building, or one of the government buildings, and I saw fucking snipers on the rooftop. Jesus. I could see the fucking, this kind of figure.
Prone position or whatever.
Prone position, and I could kind of make out the fucking rifles and shit. I'm like, and I just remember looking up, I'm like, they actually got motherfucking snipers out here. Okay, so I hope nothing goes down here, because I'm not trying to get shot.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to hear a bullet whiz by my head.
That would kind of put a damper on things.
But they had all that material and personnel for that. They didn't have that when fucking our fearless leader was here, which was weird. It was kind of weird, because I came down, and there's some dudes talking about it on the bus and talking about what's going on and this, that, and the other. And there was I remember the driver, he was very animated. He was talking about, because it was right after the plane that Iran shot down and admitted to it. Because at first I think it was taken as like a collateral damage kind of situation, and then it came out that when Iran launched missiles at the U.S. base, one of them fucking hit that plane, and that's what did it. And I remember the driver was like being very animated, and he's like, "Watch, when his speech starts, or when he gets down here, like 5-6 o'clock, because the speech didn't go on until like 7:30, I think, or 8, because I guess Mike Pence was down there too.
Oh yeah.
Which, you got the fucking president and the vice president. I thought it was gonna be on fucking like siege control. It wasn't. He was like, the bus driver was like, "Watch, as soon as it starts, the rally starts happening, like inside the building, there ain't gonna be no planes in the sky." He's like, "Watch." He was going off. It sounded conspiracy like, but it was like, that makes sense. There's no planes gonna be flying in or out. He's like, I got a friend who works at the airport, told me the airport's gonna be on lockdown and no planes are coming in or out and blah blah blah. I'm like, damn dude. So I was expecting like a heavy clamp, and it wasn't there. It was weird. I was able to just walk through the post barricades that they had, walk past the fucking dump trucks and the cop cars and shit, and just get in my building. It was fucking weird.
I'm glad I wasn't like at least more difficult.
Well,
but yeah.
Because I also expected it to get heavier as the day went on, and it didn't. The only thing that got heavier was foot traffic. People coming out and protesters and supporters and shit, because they had all the bars were crammed.
Oh yeah.
Fucking rubbing shoulders and shit, because the two dudes who came up to hang out afterwards, because they didn't get tickets. They're like, "Yeah, we're down here at I forget what bar it was, and we're like, they got in, but they couldn't order a beer."
Yeah. Like Bronzebor.
No, it was a Blarney.
Okay.
They're down with Blarney, and so I don't know. I was gonna give her like a recap of that, but nothing really happened, and I didn't. It's just the whole tirade part, like, because I had to get this shit off my chest, but I didn't want to do it again because I didn't really have anything to, I didn't have anything to go off about, and I just
every once in a while I just kind of have to.
Well, and it still just irks me. You got your lighter over there by chance?
I do, right here. There's a spaceman on there.
Well, I shouldn't say it irks me because I'm used to it yet now, and I am guilty of that sort of behavior. But then again, I was 12, 13 years old.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, that's fine because it's
you
testosterone,
yeah,
masculinity. But when you're fucking some 35-year-old, 40-year-old dude on Facebook, like, yeah, it's fucking bloodshed. Like, dude, fuck you. Because I guarantee you do not know the horrors of war.
Nope.
And a good chunk of dudes who do, I call it the deer hunter situation, where it's like, you're going to go over there and fight, and you're all fucking amped up about it and psyched up about it. Then you see what happens, and you get involved, and then you have to kill some people, and you see some buddies die, and the casualty side, and the damage, and blood, and guts, and the actual horrors of it. A good chunk of the time, you come back, and you're like, I really wish I hadn't done that.
I don't want to play anymore.
I don't want to do that anymore. But then I've known some cats. I haven't seen them in probably, Jesus, 7 years, almost 8 years. Where they were in the Army. My dude Wee Man and Captain Rippy. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Wee Man was like, he's probably pushing 50 now.
Oh dang.
But he had been in, and he was stationed in Germany. He was stationed in Kosovo.
Okay.
Tours of Iraq and Afghanistan. My dude, Captain Rippy, he was, and these are nicknames, by the way. I hold the right to withhold their names. He had done Iraq and 2 tours in Afghanistan and a tour in Iraq.
Okay.
And they were all about military history. When they talked, it was like about that stuff. And it kind of gave me a clue to, it kind of gave me an in to it, because I would just sit there and not say anything. I would ask questions, because I'm obviously ignorant to that lifestyle, that way of life, that way of thinking, where I remember at a party where they were both there. It was just at a friend's house, and they're a little bit. They're about Captain Rippy is probably 6 or 7 years older than me. So
Okay.
right now he'd be in his mid to late 30s, if not pushing 40. And I think Wee Man was almost 40 when I met him, and he's literally this tall, but he was a bad dude. He was a bad motherfucker. We're asking him questions, just politely, not being like, "Hey, motherfucker," you know.
Out of sheer curiosity.
And one of our friends asked him, he's like, "So if there's women and children involved, like, you know, giving them like the scenario kind of questions.
Yeah.
What if there's this? What if there's that?" And Captain Rippy we're playing fucking beer pong too. It was kind of funny. He's like just playing, not even kind of like turning like that to answer, but like just focused. But he was just reeling it off by memory. He's like, when we're given a task to do, we do it. We carry it out. It was just that it was that simplified. And when we get the orders, we go in. Doesn't matter who's there or what's there. We have to, when we get in and figure out the scenario or the people who are actually involved, then that's when we make those decisions. Like some cold shit, man.
Yeah.
But they had done that many times. Gone on raids, gone on like security missions, like had fucking bumped arms with fucking Blackwater guys, mercenaries. Okay. Like the dudes who go in for money to kill.
Oh yeah, I've heard of Blackwater.
Secure an area.
Yeah.
Thanks, Eric Prince, you douche. Nope, I'm avoiding the tirade.
I get it.
Avoiding the tirade. But yeah, Eric Prince, look him up. He's another fucking one of Satan's fucking love childs. Anyway, but they had that experience, which is why I wanted to ask him about it. And I remember, and we fucking drink. You know, those military dudes can fucking pound them when they want.
I don't doubt it.
Because there was one time in particular I got invited over, and it was just them and their army buddies. I had never met any of these other guys. There was like 4 or 5 other dudes there, and that's all they're talking about, like stories from boot camp, stories from the battlefield, stories from R&R, stories from whatever. And it wasn't like, oh, remember this, remember that, you know, like the old timer kind of stuff. But it was like, hey, remember that one guy who did this and that, and it was goofy, and we all laughed, and like tee hee ha kind of stuff. It never really got that heavy, but they talked in that. They were talking in that lingo, and I'm just standing around like kind of like outside the sphere, but very curious. And I'd ask them politely, "What does that mean? What is this? What is that?" And I remember because they even had like maps of Iraq and Afghanistan and other parts of the world up on the walls. And with the one from Afghanistan and Iraq, they had it charted off where they were stationed and where they fought and where they did their thing on their tours. And they both kind of had like a fascination with, you know, military history and status and strategy and stuff like that, which, you know, even if I disagree with the reasoning behind it, as far as the base reasoning of why they're there in the first place, I can't disrespect someone who's all in about something that they're passionate about. And I remember one night after a good amount of Sailor Jerry and Budweiser. Me and Captain Rippy, we were up to like 3, 4 in the morning. I was just talking to him about this stuff, and it was heavy because it was earnest and honest. It wasn't heavy because I fucking lost a guy, and
Yeah.
he was very just upfront
It's
about
like,
it.
cold
Very
reality.
stoic.
Yeah.
Very stoic in a way. And I asked him, I was like, did you always want to do something like this? Like, what made you want to do this? What made you want to? Because he enlisted.
Okay.
After I think it was after high school, which for him would have been close to 9/11. I'm like, what made you want to do this? Wait, it wouldn't be 9/11. Yeah, it would be around 9/11 for him. Well, what made you want to do this? And he just looked me dead in the eye, as serious as I am talking to you, but just in this kind of conversation.
Yeah.
He's like, I've always wanted to be a soldier. That was my dream, to grow up and serve my country and to be in the Army and to serve and to be that kind of character. I've always wanted to do that. And then when the invasions kicked off, that was his opportunity. But it wasn't, he didn't have that fervor in his voice where he's like, I want to go kill some motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I want to go over there and blow some shit in, motherfuckers. Fuck them. He always had that thing, and they both did. And all the guys that I met through them did. Where it's like, this is what I wanted to do. And I told him, I was like, straight up, I was like, that I'll respect. I'll respect that. Some cat who's fucking online, or some cat who fucking wants to enlist because he wants to blow someone's head off and get his rocks off.
Yeah, that's...
Those are the dudes
Yeah.
that I worry about. Not necessarily because they're going over there for that, because if that's what you want to do, go for it. But when they get back home, they're not going to be able to adapt. Or if they go over like that gung-ho idea of it, or that whole, they deserve to die. Fuck them. Like,
Yeah.
Dude, you have some killer instinct that you haven't realized is potent.
Yeah.
And is volatile.
Like,
you might want to get that checked first. You might
I would hope that
they'd
have like a decent screening process in that regard, but like,
who knows? I didn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's probably very good.
You'd have to assume they do, but you'd also have to assume.
I know how they treat veterans, so.
Well, yeah, you'd also have to assume that anyone who goes in there with that fucking mentality can hide it.
Oh yeah, a lot of those people are sociopaths if you think about it. Not trying to judge, but it's like, I mean, if you think that way,
those
then
kinds of people,
yeah. So you're like, yeah, if you think that way, you're probably leaning sociopath, and you're good at hiding it. I mean, it comes hand in hand.
Or there's that Doug Stanhope bit where he's like, as long as they're not yanking kids out of the inner city and making them go fight like in Vietnam, I'm fine with it if it's voluntary. He's like, because people who want to go kill other people, who are going over to kill people who want to kill other people, are the people I want being there and are not around me because I get mouthy when I drink.
I mean, hey, it's not wrong.
It's like you just open up lanes. You just open up lanes on the freeway.
Yep.
But on one of the reasons I got so enraged about people going all brouhaha, chest beating, shit talking, fucking swinging dick was, it wasn't even really because I remember those guys and remember that there's, like I said, even if I disagree with the reason that they're there, that there's guys who, and women, people,
yeah,
who earnestly want to do that, who earnestly, honestly, truthfully want to take that role.
Yep. There's the people like, serve that role well, and they do well with it and are good to people. So,
Well, and that whole bravura, or that fake tribal part of it, it kind of reminded me that I did that, but when I did that, I was a kid. And I'm not making an excuse for it. Not everyone knows what's really going on when you're 12, 13 years old.
Yeah, man. I mean, ignorance isn't stupidity at the end of the day. I mean, you just don't know any better. So
stupidity is trying to guard that ignorance.
Yeah.
If I can paraphrase Ted Nugent of all people.
Oh God.
Yeah, no, he said that
First time on the Moon Tower podcast.
he said that in an interview. He's like, ignorance is fine because you don't know, and and I'm paraphrasing, and if you're willing to take in the information and be enlightened, then the ignorance will be dissolved. Uh, Guarding stupidity is when you try to guard your ignorance.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Ted?
Stop making sense, man.
Yeah. Just admit it. Ted, just admit it. Little James Dixon reference. But, because I did that. I don't know if I've said it on here. I think I've told you before, but when in the build up to the invasion of Iraq, I did that. I was all about it because I'm not going to lie, I was scared. Not scared in, oh my God, they're going to come get us, but scared in, this is the first time in my life that I've experienced something like this.
Yeah. No, I kind of feel you.
You know, my mom, I've talked to her plenty of times about this because my uncle, her older brother, my Uncle Pat, he served in Vietnam. And she remembers nightly news showing footage from Vietnam every fucking night. She remembers people that they knew through the family who didn't come home. She remembers that shit. She remembers, you know, that era of, you know, that visceral
just the reality.
depiction of war.
Yeah.
What war was and what war is. It's fucking heinous. It is. No one wins except fucking whoever makes the most money.
Yep.
And the neighbors told me he was 18 when Persian Gulf War kicked off, when we first bombed Iraq because of what they're doing in Kuwait. And he told me, like, his mom came to him and, like, threw a backpack at him or whatever. It was like, you're not signing up, you're not going. If anything, push comes to shove, you fill this backpack and go to Canada. She's like, he said, she looked at him and was like, I remember Vietnam. I'm not doing that again. So for me, like, you know, 9/11 and, like, what the fuck's going on? Like I thought, this is, huh? Because the whole Kosovo thing I heard about, but it was on the radio.
Yeah.
We listened to that, and it was
like
NPR.
I hardly remember that stuff, and it's like we like kind of grew up through that. It's like,
yeah, like I was
hardly even remember it.
Fourth or fifth grade for me.
I remember hearing about it like briefly in like history class, but like as soon as we went over that, we started going back to like, you know, like Civil War and stuff like that.
Yeah, it kind of got washed over.
Yeah.
But I remember listening to reports about that on NPR, on the radio, because we didn't have cable at that time.
Mm-hmm.
My parents decided, like, we don't need this, we don't need cable. So that's when I first started watching a shit ton of movies. But that stuff I listened to on the radio.
Yeah.
So it seemed like a movie. It seemed like a TV show or whatever, like something that was out there, you know. But then, you know, for our generation, you know, 9/11 happens and it's just like the curtain gets torn asunder, and we're like, oh, this is happening. This is what's going on, kind of thing. And I remember when we first started bombing Afghanistan, my brother was cheering. I was like, oh my God, this is, and because it interrupted Sunday football. We came home from church, fucking turned on Sunday football, and we have to break away from this broadcast to show you this. And it's,
goddamn,
you know, Super Nintendo come alive, you know, kind of shit. Because I was only 2 when the Persian Gulf War happened. I don't fucking remember that shit. I don't remember that shit at all. So to see it, like, happening, like, I was like, what the?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, this is going on. And then
kind of puts the whole gravity thing into effect.
Yeah. Well, then, oddly enough, the build-up to Iraq started going on, and for some reason, I started becoming a cheerleader. Once again, I don't know if I've said this on the show, but I would take plain white T-shirts, take a giant black Sharpie, and just scroll slogans and sayings and catchphrases and one-liners or whatever all over the shirt, like in support of the invasion of Iraq. I'm not ashamed of it.
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed of that, but the fact that it's true, because I'll admit it, like I said, I was scared. In a way. Scared of us not winning and wanting to win and having that home team, thing going on. Like, we're America, goddammit. This happened to us. And I remember George W. Bush's fucking State of the Union address talking about all the weapons of mass destruction that Saddam Hussein had. And watching that by myself in my parents' room going, we gotta do something. We gotta fucking go over and do something. We're fucking America, man. We can't be it's fucking our backyard. Yeah, let's go fight them. And then as the years drugged on, and I'm like having my eyes open to what's actually happening and seeing the context in which is happening. Trying to learn a little bit piece by piece about the history of our influence in the Middle East and what we've been doing, like especially with like Iran. 1953, the CIA led coup. You can look it up. It's not in the fucking vault anymore. It's a true fucking story. Shit like that. And just seeing like, oh shit, we're the aggressors. Oh, glad I got rid of those shirts. I kind of went through that period too, where it's like, once again, the fucking curtain just it didn't get torn.
Just gets blown to shit.
It didn't get torn asunder. It got evaporated. It was just like that, and started getting my eyes open to all of that. So like as a kid, I don't really feel bad about it.
Yeah, I was similar boat. Like, I was big Republican thumper.
Oh, we all were for a hot minute. Not all of us, but
like all my history teachers were like gung ho about that shit. It's like, yeah, you're talking sense. Like one of them was like in the CIA, but he was like huge Republican or whatever, and he like kind of like skewed his bias towards that and didn't realize it. And there was like a couple like miscreant kids or whatever, like, oh, don't get out with that, be liberal or whatever. It's like, I was like 14, so it's like I didn't give a shit.
Yeah, no, it was like that for me. Not actually, my teachers were like, "Dude, you're dumb."
Yeah.
And I remember being the only kid, like in the lunchroom, big fucking cafeteria style lunchroom, and everyone's kind of like looking at me. Teachers are like looking at me, and I'm just like, "Fuck yeah, America, yeah." And I'm glad I got out of it. It's more of I agree that it'd be a jaded, cynical view of things.
Oh, yeah.
As far as that particular arena. But it cracks me up when I see grown people still doing that. Still, like, just, it doesn't even matter if, like, they side with what I think. It's just, how do you not see party to this fucking subject? How do you not take the other side into acknowledgement? And it just doesn't seem like they do, and I don't care anymore. They're gonna be that way. There's always gonna be those people.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
There's always gonna be those people, and I don't know if sad's the right word, or terrifying, or
disappointing in general.
Disappointing. I don't even. Disappointing in the fact that, yes, people still do it. Because I haven't, in that sense, I haven't really talked to anyone that I come across about things like that. Where, like, if they're on the brouhaha side and cheerleading and pom-poms and America #1, fuck you. But if I do, it's mainly just like, I fucking love Trump. Trump's the shit. Trump's this, that, and the other. It's like, all right. fine, go for it. And I started thinking about that more so after the last episode, mainly because, like I said, I wanted to go on another tirade. It was just, I'm like, is there? I wouldn't say it's not worth it.
I mean, I think there's time and place for it, honestly. That's kind of more or less how I feel about it.
Yeah, I don't know. It still bugs me. It still bugs me the fact that people want to do that. And people don't want to take context into context.
Yeah.
Like, not knowing the reasons why, not looking.
Or at least, like, like look at past events and see what led up to it. Like, a lot of people don't live that far in the past. They still live in the past, don't get me wrong, but, like, they don't look too far backwards out of convenience, I think, sometimes.
Well, I was talking about this with one of the lady friend's roommates last night, where there's still that aura of exceptionalism in this country.
Yeah.
It really is, where people see it as, this happened to America. America's doing this, so they get on board with it. If America's doing this, or America's doing that, or taking this action, or taking this vote, this step, this whatever, then it has to be in the good, because that's what I know. Even after everything has come out in the last 20 years about the way the country's handled the Middle East, or torture, or Abu Ghraib, or fucking inequality, or whatever heavy subject, they still think that, we're number one, we're the best.
Yeah.
Because that's what they... And I think that comes from a source of fear as well. And not necessarily fear of being wrong, but fear of having that proverbial curtain being shredded.
Yeah, the unexpected happening.
Well, they don't. They're scared of seeing the other side, and they're scared of. I feel they're scared of
consequences and other things.
understanding the wrong that's been done.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you look at any civilization, any empire, any supposed superpower or great country throughout history, everyone's guilty. So we're just kind of. I guess in a way that
depends how far in whoever's pocket you happen to be.
Well, and I guess in a way too that goes towards that whole exceptionalism thing, is because it's like, look what America's done, look what America's done, look what America did. Holy shit, that's fucking horrific. No, everyone's done it. it's the
the Crusades happened.
Well, it's
among other things. But yeah.
For me, it's a kind of a captivating example of the myth of moral progress.
Yeah.
Where by now we should be not only a much more advanced society technologically or scientifically or intellectually or just reasoning or whatever, or just one-on-one scenarios, which I think even more so we are, having conversation, talking to people, having a certain type of dialogue, not getting enraged and burning people at the stake because they think otherwise.
Yeah.
But every notable civilization, society, empire, whatever, great power, or also has millions of lives on their hands and buckets of blood. So
good old buckets.
So it just cracks me up that people still want to take. They want to take their heritage, their Americanism, the genetic fucking accident that they were born in America when they were.
Yeah,
for
I
granted.
feel people owe something to that heritage. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I'm American, I should do better. I should be patriotic. I should, fight. I should be a fighter. It's like,
you'll find that
any sort of like
that in every
internationalism, whatever, or nationalism in general. Yeah,
you'll find that in every country.
Yeah.
People who they abide by just from the simple fact that they were born in a certain place, they abide by that, and they have to I completely understand the need and the logic behind wanting to defend the homeland.
Yeah.
I get it. To me, that's an innate speck of DNA. Like, I don't know if it's part of the actual DNA, but like that, those things are innate.
Revolution is in our nature.
You have to defend the home.
Yeah.
And when it comes to something as big as your country, yeah, people are going to pony up. But just the way it is now is stupid because, like I said, a solid 98% of those people aren't going to pony up. They're just talking shit.
Yeah.
They're on the sidelines, man, waving their fucking flags and their phone number one fingers.
People want to be heard, but they don't want to have to speak. You know.
Well, they don't even want to be heard. They just that's their way of speaking. And I guess in a way, it's no different than this, but at the same time, I'm trying to communicate something.
Yeah.
We're trying to communicate something.
Yeah, I mean, this is more or less, you know, I wouldn't say like, what do you call it? Commiseration. That's what it is.
Whereas, you know, with them, like, they can show up to their rallies, Trump or Democratic candidate or party rally, and that's, you know, it's that innate need to abide by something, like you said, abide by something, abide by a certain path of thought,
rationale.
Yeah, certain rationale. Thank you. And then trying to decipher, okay, where does it lie?
Mm-hmm.
And it just, I mean, even on the left, like, we stick to our party. Why?
Yeah, there's some backwards ass people out there.
Why? Why would you want to do that?
What is it? I heard Hillary doesn't endorse Bernie Sanders.
Good. Why is that?
Yeah, that's probably like the best thing that you can do for a campaign.
Why
honestly.
is that a surprise, anyways? And people still want to back her, and people like.
Yeah, I don't get it.
There was a article on TruthDig, one of the only news websites I still follow. Granted, all of the articles are mainly op-eds.
Yeah.
So depending on who the writer is, it's going to be slanted towards their perspective on
whatever
the,
you want
on
to call
the
that.
subject.
Yeah.
But the one was called "Why Democratic Party Loyalty is a myth, or why it's bad for the country."
Yeah.
Because you get people like that on the left too, where, you know, Hillary should have won the election. Without considering the fact, oh yeah, Bernie Sanders got fucked in 2016. Got fucked over. Was the main reason why trust me, if he had fucking won out over her for the nomination, I would have been all Bernie all the way.
Yeah.
And so would most of this country would have been too.
Me too.
But then he backed her because that's the party standard.
Yeah.
Even after getting fisted in the ass by the fucking DNC. Which also is on paper, and you can look up as well.
Yeah, no, I find that funny
people
because, like, people are bringing that up now too. It's like, oh, hey, Bernie supported you. Why are you supporting Bernie? But it's like at this point, it's like, yeah, I'm kind of glad that, you know, she did that. That's probably better publicity.
You know, dude, it's funny because Trump pointed that out on the campaign trail after that happened, and I was like, you know what, Donald, I agree with you because that's what fucking happened.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Like, and you get people, like I said, you get people like that on the left too. So I don't know. It's just a great circus to watch. It really is.
Yeah.
And it's great great in a jaded, cynical way because it's entertaining. You know, like,
it's entertaining, but at the same time, it's like, man, I wish I could have seen politics back in the day as they unfolded, just kind of like see how it compares, because it's like, I don't know, I have a feeling like a lot of this stuff just kind of like repeats itself over and over again. And
well,
I mean, it probably does, but
it does. Yeah. But I think in our time, what's different, obviously, is like the rampant 24/7 cable TV, social media
methods and
like
whatnot.
it's always there. It's always there. It's always there. It's always there, regardless.
Yeah,
of
I agree
where
with you
turn.
there. Yeah.
But at the same time, with that circus being the media and the media coverage of it, so it has to be blown up and further and further and further. So it seems even more like a circus. And
the extravagance is probably to nth degree more so than it might have been in the past, I guess.
Well, I mean, just the fact that fucking Donald Trump is still president, not disregarding the impeachment shit, disregarding the whole Russia shit. Like a reality TV star, quote unquote billionaire businessman who's been in the pop culture lexicon for 30, 40 years. You know, and then people are like, well, what about Oprah Winfrey? What about Michelle Obama? What about people were even like, what if The Rock ran? What if Dwayne Johnson ran for, like,
he'd probably win in office, honestly.
He probably would. And that's the thing is, like, that circus.
It's not the first time. Like, fucking Goldberg. He was a mayor.
Fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jesse Ventura were both governors. Like that, and I'm not saying they're part of it, but like that whole circus part of it, I think has been being blown out of proportion because the institutions that we once held dear that helped make this system run cleanly on paper, they're breaking down, they're being hollowed out, and people are turning into like these demigods of sorts.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying it's Weimar Germany all over again, but it seems like it, kind of, where it's just like, you know, everything, what we once held dear, you know, that curtain's being just torn to shit, so there's a void, and something or someone steps in, and then we praise and hail them, because you know, they speak truth to power, and they're out for my standard of living, and they're saying exactly what I wanted to hear, and then I'm gonna get on this team. I'm gonna get on this bandwagon. It's bandwagon jumping, dude. That's all politics is.
Yeah, that's a lot of it. I mean, people like look into issues and all that, but it's like, you know, people want to be included, so they go with whatever they feel.
Well, and it's, I guess, in a way, it's getting on the bandwagon for like things that the things that people say they have no say in are the things that I've found that the bandwagon that those things represent, say like Trump or America or whatever party you're choosing or this person or this team, they have no fucking say in how their team's gonna do, but they're gonna fucking brouhaha until the championship comes to town. You know, can't really do anything about the way Washington runs, but somebody comes in who's, well, I'm gonna get on their team. You know, you can't really change the way America is being run or anything about the way America is, but if something happens, you know, I'm America all the way. I'm America all the way nonetheless, because they want to take pride in things they have no real accomplishment in. You know, it's to go back once again to that fucking Doug Stanhope bit about nationalism. Take pride in no accomplishment.
Well, people think that because they have the pride in that and that they're included and that they know something about it, even if like they've never taken like 2 steps, like read the fucking manual, you know. It's like shit.
Well, and it's always the funniest thing to me is like it's things that they have no say in, or feel that they have no say in. Things that they, you know, so they take that cheerleader fan perspective because, well, I'm here, I got a ticket to this seat, so I'm gonna sit here and fucking go home team,
and I'm entitled to it.
Yeah. I have a genetic fucking accident.
Yep.
So that altogether, I mean, whatever side you fall on, that's what I've found funny so many more times than not.
Yeah.
And it's going to continue, and you might as well enjoy the fucking show, right?
Yep.
So on that, I think we're good, solid ways in. So I think we're gonna leave off on there.
We've milked this episode cow quite thoroughly. Fresh cream.
So with that, folks, once again, thank you for tuning in. FlashDesigns.com. Mark Kowalski is the brain behind that. So go get yourself some merchandise. All of the proceeds go to him. Once again, it's a local shop. Buy local, act Moon Tower podcast.
Get yourself a koozie so you can drink along with us.
There's other stuff on there too, and you can even request a T-shirt to be made, just as long as you follow his protocol. Once again, thank you, Moon Tower Podcast. Signing out. Twitter, Moon Tower Podcast. SoundCloud for the old episodes. Research European Ian. We're on YouTube again, Stitcher, and Facebook, and God only knows what.
Now coming to the Brain Probe.
I have another track from Saturn Boy. I'll have another track from Saturn Boy at the end of this. Maybe a video. Maybe. Just maybe. But until next time, cheers, folks. Keep your minds open.
And other orifices, too.
And your buttholes.
Yep, that was the one.
And your legs. And your mouths. Just keep it all open.
Yep.
Just go butt naked.